A suffocated warmth crested my stubbled cheek as a brilliant light pierced the seams between my eyelids. I shielded my vision and forced myself to my feet. The overpowering blur shifted into perfect clarity. The city rose around me, vast and golden, its towers spiraling in geometries that whispered theorems I had no language for. It was a glory, a light that emanated not from any visible sun, but from the stone itself, a pale, auritic burn. Yet that light did not illuminate. It clung to surfaces, leaving the spaces between towers thick with a gloom that pressed against the eyes. The stench consumed me like a crushing aura, carrying the sterile mask of air conditioning with undertones of sickening sulfur. I traced one of the spiraling towers beyond its edge, finding no sky, but instead the vault of a cave ceiling encased within a long, amber outline. My footsteps echoed as I wandered, returning from strange angles I could not pinpoint. The brick road was crafted of a material cracked like bone, but shone with the brilliance of gold. I passed colonnades where statues stood, beings with many faces, multiple limbs, locked in attitudes of misery and despair. I did not look at them twice. I sought an exit, a door, a crack, a seam in that rock sky. The city curved upon itself. Twice I passed the same fountain where a winged thing poured water from its own mouth. Thrice I passed a plaza where the ground was inlaid with a mosaic of a labyrinth. I began to understand that I was not meant to leave, that I was being allowed to walk. Eventually, I followed a path to a grand staircase leading up toward a mesa with an overhanging canopy. Before it was a large, round platform homing a statue. The figure depicted was that of a young lamb on its hind legs, its jaws fastened around a rope. The rope was thick, braided from something like hair or tendon, and glistened with what seemed like honey. Above, suspended by that same rope, hung a cage of hammered steel. Its eyes were not that of a lamb's. They were knowing. They were patient. It gnawed and the rope frayed, and the honey dripped down its chin in slow, amber beads. I moved toward the stairs with cautious haste, beginning my ascent as though my legs had forgotten they belonged to me. The stairs were wide, and on either side of the walls rows, carved with reliefs of a war I could not interpret, seraphim grappling with things that had no shape, spears of light meeting talons of caged brilliance. The higher I climbed, the stronger the sulfur became, until it was less a smell than a presence, coating my tongue. I crested the golden mesa and beheld a wide, bowl-like pit with countless levels of seating, appearing as a grand council chamber. My mind spun as I traced the spiral to the center. There, I saw something I will try to describe as best I can. though I believe language will buckle beneath its weight. It was enormous. Its body was that of a slug. It wept from eyes dotted along its sides, tears the color of tar rolling down its flanks and sizzling on the ground. From that body rose the shoulders and arms of a sloth, long and furred, and ending in claws that covered its face. A lion's head crowned it, the same tears flowing behind its claws. 6 wings extended from its back, angel's wings, though their feathers were tattered, molting, some broken and some gone, leaving only the quills. And, from the base of the spine, a serpent's tail coiled and uncoiled, its scales scraping the floor with a sound like whispered names. It looked at me. It spoke, though the mouth did not open. Its voice echoed throughout my sternum, a vibration more than a sound. "You should not be here." I opened my mouth, but nothing came. Then my arm vanished. No pain, just a sudden absence, a lightness on my left side. I looked down. My sleeve hung empty, the fabric tattered at the shoulder. Blood began to pour. Then the agony arrived. A white, blooming pain that drove me to my knees. I heard them. A wet, tearing sound. A snarling without lungs to give it breath. I felt teeth fastened around my right leg, just below the knee. Bone cracked and tendons tore. My leg torn from me and disappearing into an invisible maw. I screamed, the echo growing in that impossible sphere, layering upon itself until it became a horrid, all-encompassing chorus. They took me piece by piece. My limbs were stripped, my ribs parted, until I was reduced to a listening, seeing thing, a nerve ending suspended in that amber light. The slug creature watched me with its human eyes, its tears falling, its tattered wings giving an occasional, useless shudder. I tried to pray, but found no words. I tried to scream again, yet had no mouth left. I closed my eyes. When I opened them, I was on my living room floor, cold hardwood pressed against my cheek, the afternoon light filtering through the window in honest, dusty shafts. I was whole. My legs, my arms, my hands trembling, but present. I did not move. I lay there, breathing, letting the ceiling's familiar creaks and groans ground me. I turned my head. On the adjacent wall, an open cardboard box, plain brown and unassuming. I knew with a certainty that lived in my marrow that I had opened it, that I had looked inside, that I had seen something. I have not looked inside again. I will not. But I have not thrown the box away either. It sits in the corner, its flaps a gasp, spewing the scent of sulfur and sterile air conditioning. I will go back to the golden city in the box. A haunted, beautiful, and tragic kingdom with a name so ancient and powerful that it echoes about my mind without the two ever acquainting. The forgotten city at the center of unreality. Radio.